Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to a very special, very weird episode of Imperial Pulls. I'm going to shut up now because this isn't even my channel.
Whose voice is that? Who is talking right now? What is?
It's me, God. I've come here to tell you, Brian, you're living your life very well, and Joe, I'm very disappointed in you. Still.
That sounds like something God would say.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to Imperial Pulls.
Hello, everyone.
My name is Brian.
I'm still Joe.
And we also have
somebody else.
That's right. It's me, Jason, from Genesis Battle of Champions, and I'm excited to be here tonight. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, regular viewers of Imperial Pulls will notice that things are a little different tonight, and that's because we have a very special guest. We have Jason, as we just heard from Imperial Pulls, from Genesis Battle of Champions.
Wishes.
Oh my gosh!
I can only dream,
because
I can only dream.
Well, if you love Genesis like we do, you may know that starting tomorrow, there will be a Genesis Kickstarter. And there are all kinds of lovely tiers and cool things that you can get. But so far, people don't entirely know all the things that you can get. Surprise, we're going to tell you right now. Well, Jason's going to tell us right now.
Speaking of tiers, Brian, I don't know if you're following the official Genesis Battle of Champions chat. It appears we have a traitor.
We do?
We do.
Uh-oh.
Damien is not in our chat.
What?
What? How unusual.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? He's still watching, and that's the main thing.
That's true. Hello, Damien.
We're just teasing, obviously.
Hello, everybody who is in our stream as well as the official stream.
The official Genesis stream and our stream at the same time, going out there into the interwebs. So thanks for joining us wherever you're joining us from. We've got a really cool, unique episode for you. But before we get started, Jason, we have a tradition here on Imperial Pulls, as you may know.
Oh, yes.
That we begin each broadcast with a different liquid beverage.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'm a fan.
As opposed to solid beverages, I guess. Right. So I understand you've got a beverage of your own?
Indeed, I do. I happen to have a Landshark lager here. I'm a big fan, but I'm not endorsed by them in any way.
All right. So what do we have today, Joe?
We have Swingbridge Blonde Ale.
Swingbridge Blonde Ale from Manitoulin Brewing Company.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it up. Let's crack them open.
Jason, enjoy it. Cheers.
I thought still Joe didn't like blondes. I'm so confused.
Oh.
Cheers. Virtual cheers to you.
Cheers.
You like some in his mouth.
It's a fine tradition.
Brian likes it.
Yeah, I like that really.
It's a little citrusy.
I like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah.
This has given us a chance. For those of you who haven't watched our show before, this kind of gives us a chance to taste different kinds of beer. It's a good excuse to try all different ones and see which ones we like and which ones we don't. And sometimes we don't. But today, so far, Swingbridge, pretty good.
Nice. Over on the I'll call it the official Genesis YouTube channel. Question in the chat from House of Mysteria, who says they've been gone from the game for a while, but they're wondering, are the new cards the same design as the old cards? Or
good question. You can answer that.
Thanks. So to catch you up on a little bit of what you missed, we did redesign the cards. They do look different, but I'm very happy to share that we've already had one set come out with the redesign, which came out in December. That was called Invasion, and it was really, really well received by the general Genesis Battle of Champions playing group and the community all over. We got lots of great feedback. People have responded really well to that. You're going to get an idea of what those cards look like tonight because we're going to have some cards to reveal. Although, to be honest with you, now that I think about it, most of the cards I'll be revealing tonight will be exclusive rewards. That'll be alternate frames, alternate style cards, things that you'll be able to only get exclusively as rewards for helping back this Kickstarter, which is going to launch tomorrow. And I'd love to take a minute, if you fellows over at Imperial Pulls don't mind, just to talk about a couple interesting things that came up today, because I think they'll be relevant for viewers to watch. One of the things I did today, and we've done over the last week, is Janice, my partner, and one of the owners here at Edge of Exile, she sent emails, personal emails, to all of the game stores currently located on our store locator. And if you haven't been to our website lately, immediately, you should take a look at genesisbattlechampions.com because we're in a lot of stores. A lot of stores in Canada, primarily on the East Coast. A lot of stores in the States, again, primarily on the East Coast. Although we do have some stores, including one out in Nevada, and we're slowly been taking over, spreading into the middle and western areas as we go, especially because we just got a second distributor in the United States, and the second wholesale distributor is located out of Seattle. So we're expecting to see a lot of new pins of new stores joining our West Coast side of North America pretty soon.
Wonderful. That's great news.
Absolutely.
So the follow-up question I see as the chat goes on is House of Mysterious is wondering, is the first set available for purchase somewhere, and where can we find the link for the upcoming Kickstarter? So as you're watching on the Genesis channel, I got to figure out, I think, I don't know if it's going to let me put a link because I'm sort of associated with the channel, but this isn't the channel's primary one. But basically, the shortest link that I can tell you, and I'll try to type it in and see if it shows up, is you know how you can shorten links with like bit.ly? So I've got one of those for this bit.ly/GBOC Kickstarter. So I'm just going to type that in and see if it shows up in the chat on the Genesis official channel or if it gets blocked out. Depends on the settings. I think it went into the chat. In a few seconds, Brian will be able to confirm for me.
Of course.
Because I think you're also looking at all the chats, are you not?
Yes, that's right. Now, while you're doing that, Jason, people should know if they don't want to wait for the link or whatever, you can just go to Kickstarter and look up Genesis Battle of Champions, and you should be able to find it there.
Keep in mind, there's an old one, though.
There is an old one from
Yep.
Genesis Origins, but you'll be able to tell because this one is current and active.
Yeah, if you played Genesis before, you'll know right away which one's the right one because there's an updated logo for the game. Everything's a little bit different. So if it looks a little off to what you remember, that's the brand new one. So very easy to tell them apart.
Right, totally. Now, Jason, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. This Kickstarter that you're doing, I understand, unlike a lot of other card games, this Kickstarter does not include any booster boxes.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. That's actually what I was going to touch on about the two interesting conversations I had today with game stores online. One of them, Pink Elephant, which if anybody from Pink Elephant in the United States is watching right now, great to have you here. Thanks for joining us tonight. They were really responsive, really great, because I posted in one of their Facebook discussion groups about the links and some of the info for tonight's stream and for the Kickstarter going tomorrow. Because one of the things that makes our Kickstarter that we're doing right now stand apart from a lot, well, basically almost all the CCG Kickstarters we've all seen over the last few years is there are no booster boxes for the next set being sold via the Kickstarter. The main reason for that is we are very blessed in the year that this new company, Edge of Exile, that I'm a representative of, has taken over the game. We've got some exciting new distribution partners that the old game and the old version of the company never got. So what happens is we don't want to sell booster boxes directly to customers because we've got distribution deals to carry our products in and sell them to stores across the entire United States, coast to coast across Canada. We even have a distributor over in the European Union serving all of Europe. So because we have these partnerships with people who are key and integral in making sure that players, like those watching at home right now, can get the products in their local game store in their area, we would never want to cannibalize those sales. We don't want to do anything that would jeopardize these really valuable, really important partnerships we have. Now, in the past, we've seen it feels like 100. I don't know the exact number. It feels like we've seen so many Kickstarters where up and coming games that are brand new and fresh and hot have been selling booster boxes as a main way of raising money through crowdfunding. They'd raise the money ahead of time and then print it later. Obviously, that's not something we're trying to accomplish here because we're not, as much as we are still a smaller and growing brand, we're not the indie game in the traditional sense. We already have major partnerships with major distributors. We already have game stores all around North America carrying us. So that's the main reason why we're not selling booster boxes in this Kickstarter. And that's the main reason why you're going to see all the rewards we're going to be revealing tonight are really cool things, some of which I think you're going to be really impressed to see are things other collectible card games have never done before in Kickstarters, at least to my knowledge. We've got a couple really crazy, sweet rewards that were the kind of things I used to dream of being able to do when I was just a player and a fan of all these collectible card games and not involved with any of them myself. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun revealing some really cool rewards tonight. We're going to talk about what the money's being used for. We're going to talk about how we're growing. We're going to talk about
Right.
all these cool partnerships, millions of things to talk about tonight. And I think it's going to be a really fun episode for everybody.
That's great. I'm really excited. I know that I'm going to participate in the Kickstarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure. What tier and what I'm going to get out of it, I don't know yet, because we're just learning also for the first time what exactly all the tiers are. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to be a guest on your show tonight. It worked out perfectly for me because I, being the first Kickstarter I've ever been involved in, I didn't realize that when you're in that preview mode before it goes live, that you can't actually see all the reward tiers. I was hoping for the last week everybody would have been able to see all the information we're going to share tonight. And I realized before I approached you about doing this joint live stream tonight that some people, because some of these rewards are going to be very limited, very exclusive, some people are probably going to be really excited for certain ones. And I want to give people a little bit of heads up before the chaos happens tomorrow when the Kickstarter goes live, so people can scout out the rewards, know exactly how much things are going to cost, and sleep on it tonight. Think about it. And then tomorrow, and here's a bit of a scoop, the first scoop of the night that we haven't revealed before is the time that the Kickstarter is going to go live. And the plan is for it to go live right at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So if my math is right, that would be 9 a.m. Pacific.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
12 o'clock noon Eastern.
Yep. So if you're on your lunch break at a really cool job, you can go ahead and hit that Kickstarter button right away and get signed up. And there are some rewards, and we did mention this a couple times publicly, that are going to have a special day one discount where you can save a bit of money on them. So because this is an international game, and we literally do have players all over the world, including players in Europe who are going to be fascinated in watching this, any of the day one discounts are going to be live for 24 full hours, effective from 12 p.m. Eastern on Monday till 12 p.m. Tuesday. I want to make sure everybody gets a full 24 hours to get in on those day one discounts if that's something that they want to snag. So there's a little bit more of a follow up. So yeah,
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
well, how would you like to present this, Jay? Do you want to start diving right in, or?
So you'll notice on the left side of our screen here, Brian, we've got a really big area, about half the screen, that says "Welcome to the officially unofficial Kickstarter kickoff live stream." What I did is I've got that
unofficial before.
Yeah, I know, it's really good feeling.
Congratulations, we're all officially unofficial tonight. It feels great. So what I've got here is, if I've done my job right on my side, and God knows I have a little bit of technology troubles every now and then, I should be able to hit a button in a minute, and I'm going to be sharing a screen with a preview that I can see as the creator of the Kickstarter that I can't otherwise share publicly. There's no way for me to like spread it in a link or whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that take up the other half of the screen, and we're going to just scroll down one tier at a time, talk about all the tiers, talk about all the rewards, talk about the prices for everything. You're going to get full disclosure on everything tonight.
Excellent. That's amazing.
Brian's so excited he just spilled his beer.
I was trying to be discreet, but yes, I did spill my beer a little bit. I was so excited.
And then there, just because it's a preview, I will point out one little thing that you're going to notice while we're scrolling through. It's going to say that everything's sold out. That's just because it's in preview mode. Obviously, nothing's went for sale yet, but it's going to say everything's sold out. It's going to say there's 0 left for everything. Don't panic. That's just
we'll make sure we keep telling people that is not the case.
Exactly. Perfect. All right. Now then, with that being said, I'm going to try and hit a button here, and we'll see if I can get this to show up on the screen. And there we go. So for the viewers at home, you're going to get your first glimpse right now at the first tier of our new Kickstarter. And I have to move a couple things on my page here so that I can read it all while we discuss it. And
there's the
Brian, Joe, you guys can see this along with me, right? Perfect.
We can, yeah.
So I'm going to scroll right up here because that was actually not the first tier. The very first tier of all, the lowest tier of all, for those who just want to kind of dip their toes into it a bit, is for $50 Canadian. I don't know. Can you guys see the mouse on the screen when I talk, or no? Just because
I don't see the mouse. I just see the scroll.
Yeah, we just see the scroll, not the not the cursor.
So you'll see here we've got some alternate style champions. They're going to be available in this tier in non-foil, and it's $50 Canadian. And that's something I want to reiterate for all of our American friends, because a few of our American friends didn't catch on to the fact that being Canadian, all these numbers are talking about are in Canadian. So think about like a 25% saving when you're converting from Canadian funds to US.
That's a good point.
That's ballpark where the conversion is right now. So when we talk about, and I haven't mentioned it tonight, but the all or nothing minimum funding we're trying to reach is $40,000. That's going to enable us to get Metamorphosis into the printers right away and keep the ball moving forward so that we can keep working on stuff and getting stuff out to the stores in the original time period we promised, which was we were aiming for sometime this summer to get this set out. So that's $40,000 Canadian, which is actually slightly over 29,000 USD based on yesterday's what do you call it? Exchange rate. So
Yeah.
so all these numbers are Canadian dollars. So American fans, you'll be really excited that's going to be actually a significant amount less. Now at this alternate styles, there are 7 different champions in the new set. These are placeholder images of what they could look like. They're not going to be exactly like this. These are actually mock-ups I did of an example of how the frames could look differently using the existing art in the next set, but we're going to do something cool to make them all look really funky and neat and stand out. And these will only be available through Kickstarter rewards. These versions of champions will not be appearing in booster packs anywhere. So it's going to be a really cool collectible, and you get to feel good knowing that you're going to be helping support the Kickstarter and helping support the growth of the community. As I scroll down a bit here, the info talks about how there are these champions here: Oni, Erica, Sven, Caleb. Oh, it is 8. Sung, Odara, Kayun, and Isaac. So you're going to get one copy of each of those in non-foil alternate arts, and you're also going to get exclusive early updates via the Kickstarter, which means as we get updates on when things are going to be shipping and arriving in your hometown and things like that, we'll be posting updates in the Kickstarter for all the people that are backed. So you're going to get access to all the latest info and updates on all the cool things that are going on. Now then, what we're about to go through next is, before I can scroll down to the next tier, it's going to show you a list of every optional add-on that you can add on to any of these tiers. Now, the requirement is you do have to order a tier first, but then all these things we're going to go over next are things you can add 1 of, 2 of, 3 of, whatever you want. So we'll take a look at the add-ons now, if that makes sense to you guys. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
And these add-ons can be set no matter what tier you buy into, right?
That's right. With 1 or 2 notable exceptions, which will make perfect sense when we get there. But other than those, everything else that we're going to talk about right now will be add-on for any tier that you want to back. So first up, you're going to see a whole bunch of T-shirts. We've got a bunch of T-shirts done, one for every champion. So we've got an Oni T-shirt, which is one I'm really proud of, as you might remember that Oni is our first non-binary character in the game lore. So we've got some messages of being positive and whatnot on the shirt. It's a really nice feel-good shirt featuring Oni on it. Then we've got an Erica t-shirt. We've got 2 versions of a Caleb and Redvorn. The first one we're going to be looking at here is one where it's just an image on the front, but this is the only shirt that there's also going to be a double-sided shirt available where you can get Caleb's artwork on the front of the card and the back artwork from Caleb's, because it's a dual-sided card, on the back of the t-shirt. So you'll be able to see your favorite vegan demon and wear them around town. So that will be lots of fun. I should point out for you, in case it's hard to read, I don't know what it's like for viewers at home because my screen is shrunk down with all sorts of info on it right now. These shirts are all individually priced at $40 plus shipping. Every item will have its own shipping cost that will be added on when you add add-ons to your collective order, because obviously we're shipping more things, more weight, more boxes, things like that. In the case of somebody who adds a ton of add-ons, we may actually be able to manually, after the fact, if the shipping adds up to more than was needed, we'll give a credit kind of idea for some people who, if you get a ton of add-ons, you might actually save something on the shipping after as well, which is a nice bonus, but that's something we'll do manually as we're calculating it out. So yeah, we're going through all the t-shirts. Sung the Hunter, great art on that card. I'm super excited for it. Isaac, which is our werewolf champion. Classic Queen, that's Odara. We've got Sven, the Elven Patriarch, has his own t-shirt. And then because the price jump, the Caleb and Redvorn dual-sided one is a little bit lower. After the next reward, and this is one that I really love a lot, this is brick and mortar stores only. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. There are some add-ons that can't be added on by normal people, and that's because they're part of a tier for brick and mortar game stores only. There is a whole tier package we're going to show later where brick and mortar game stores can get some really cool swag to sell in their stores to Genesis fans that will actually have that store's logo on it or the name of the store in it, something like that, to integrate it and really make you feel proud. Not only are you supporting your game that you love to play, but you're supporting your local game store, buying it in your local game store, and it's got some cool branding on it. So when you carry it to other stores, they're going to see that. So that's pretty exciting. Then we've got another one of the store-only add-ons is branded metal exert tokens that you can get. They're really cool. They're nice little metal tokens. We've had a lot of success with them. People love them, and stores will be able to get them with their own store logo custom done on them. I will try and get some close-ups of these products as we go later on. But I know everybody's excited just to talk about these cool rewards and see them first. So we'll carry on for just a minute. Now then, what do I got coming up next here? Sorry, I'm just scrolling down so I can make sure I don't miss any of the chat as well. I don't know if we ever answered House of Mysteria. Is the first set available for purchase somewhere? The first set we released and all the other ones, the first set that we released is available in all stores listed on our store locator right now. A couple of the previous sets, the final ones from the last company, are also available in stock in some stores.
Where can people find the store locator, Jason?
So the store locator is on the GenesisBattleChampions.com website, and I'll try and put a link for that into the chat on the YouTube channel directly in a minute. I just don't want to get too sidetracked because we've got a lot of cool things that I want to cover, including the next perk, the next add-on that you can add on to any tier is one that Joe in particular is going to be excited for, I'm sure, because it is a custom jersey, a custom Genesis jersey from Flooded Studios. So I don't know if Brian was aware of that reward tier, but that's a cool one that we've integrated well.
That is very cool. It doesn't surprise me.
Well, and Brian himself is one of the very few people who currently owns a Flooded Studios Genesis jersey. And
true. One of three, baby.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try and pull up a photo here right now and I'll get it on the screen. If you just give me a second here, just to show it, because I do really, really love these jerseys. They're incredibly high quality. And Joe, while I'm pulling up the image, can you tell them about the customizable features that are included with the price for the jersey, please?
Yeah, of course. So depends on whether you're the store level or the I guess consumer level.
Yep.
But we can customize your name and number on the back of the jersey. I guess I should say Jason didn't touch on it, but so I designed the back of the cards. I have a graphic design company called Flooded Studios. I designed the back of the new Genesis cards. And also one of the main things I do is design custom athletic apparel. So we decided to incorporate some jerseys into the Kickstarter, and we can put your number on the back, your name on the back, and then you get to have an official Genesis Battle of Champions jersey. For the stores, so brick and mortar stores only, if you want to send out your logo as well, I can put your logo on the jersey. So you have a custom branded official Genesis jersey.
Where would the logo go?
That
sounds funny, but yes.
Probably over the heart, but it may go on the sleeve.
I was going to say if it was like...
Yeah, that's a detail that Jason and to work on.
Right,
yeah,
but I guess it might depend on the logo as well.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I think that's a little flexible as to the position where it goes.
That's really cool.
Fact, I've got an image here. I'm just getting ready to... Oh, now it's, of course, the image is so high res, I got to shrink it way down. Give me just 1 second here. Otherwise, all you're going to see is my face. We don't want that.
Which is...
All right.
Joe, while we're waiting, I have a jersey question. Could everybody who orders a jersey have number 69 on the back? If they wanted.
If they wanted, they could have any number they want.
Right. So you don't have to worry about not getting 69 because everyone can have it if they want to.
420, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
One. You're helpful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really classed this place up. Oh, there we go. We got the picture up.
There we are.
Yep.
Yep. So I designed those, I don't know, a bunch of months ago, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, we can customize them however you want as far as the name and number goes. And again, the stores with the logo, we can put it on there. Once the Kickstarter's over and you want to send the logo off, we'll facilitate how to do that, what format the logo needs to be in. And if the logo needs to be rebuilt, there will be a charge on top of that. But if it's a logo that we can use for print production, we'll gladly customize your jersey for you.
So then I have another image that I'll put up here in just a second. We mentioned a second ago that one of the cool exclusive perks that stores can get is a playmat. And I just want to show on the screen here, give people an idea of what this will look like. So there's two
I haven't seen. I don't know about this one.
So there's two different versions of the playmat to begin with. You can get it with the map going lengthways, or you can get it vertical or horizontal, basically. But then if you're a store owner, you can get this playmat featuring a map from the Genesis world with your store's name in a convenient spot hidden somewhere in the artwork. So it'll look like your store actually exists in the game. I mean,
Oh, fun. Ah,
it doesn't really, but you know what I mean. Like it's going to look cool, and it'll be a really cool collectible that people who are really proud of the stores want to get. You're going to want to snag one of these playmats because the only way to get one with your store's name on it is if you can convince your local game store to order in the LGS tier rewards. And then there'll be all sorts of cool stuff that you can buy from your local game store. Like I mentioned, the Exert tokens with the store's logo on them, which are cool to show off when you're traveling to other stores to play. The playmat with your store's name on it. And again, the stores, if they want, they can order extra jerseys with their store logos on them, either to sell to customers. If a customer really wants to get one with the store's logo on it, they have to buy it through the store. They can't buy it directly because we're not putting other people's logos without their permission onto shirts and selling them. So that's
Brian, you may be surprised. I don't own this playmat.
You don't?
I don't.
nobody does yet, but you could if you back the Kickstarter.
I will.
Excellent. Just imagine how good it would look with Flooded Studios on it.
Absolutely.
So that's that one. Let me take that reward off the screen now. All right. So we've talked about a few of the add-ons so far with the t-shirts. The branded token stores can get the custom jerseys. You can buy one without a store logo and get it done however you want. If you want your local store's logo on it, you have to buy it through them. Then here's a really exciting one. This is one I'm actually pretty proud of. I thought of this one, and I just think it's really cool. You could get your name printed on the back of tokens that will be appearing in booster boxes of Metamorphosis. We're going to be putting thank you lists on the back of tokens in the next set. We're going to limit the names on each one to either 10 or less, depends on the font and the spacing. It could be only 5 names on each token, depending on how the math works out. But it's going to be thank yous of the honored people that we appreciate so much who backed us during the Kickstarter and helped us bring Metamorphosis out on time. So for just $100, you can get your name on a really cool thank you list. And then you can be sitting in draft with Joe and Brian and me. And maybe Brian opens up a token. He's like, hey, Joe's name is on the back of this. And then Joe's like, I want that.
Whoa!
And Joe will be like, I want that
That's
token. And Brian will
amazing.
be like, $50, man. So yeah, it'll be really fun. And it'll be cool too, because again, this game's getting played across the States, across Canada, over in Europe, which means no matter where you are, if you back that tier and you get your name printed on the back of tokens coming up in Metamorphosis, there will be people in multiple countries around the world reading those thank you lists and knowing that you were a really cool person who helped Genesis get to the next level.
So, Jason, we got a question here in our chat.
Okay.
From Cardboard Cohorts asking, so playmats is only a store tier?
That's a great question. No, it's actually not. You can get the exact same playmat without a store's branding on it, and you can order it for $40 and add it onto your normal
Okay, so we just haven't
Kickstarter.
got there yet.
Yeah, they are here. I wonder if I went past it without seeing it. But yeah, there is. You can get them for brick and mortar stores, and you can get the playmats just for yourself. Here they are. So here's the thing. Stores can add them on for $40 because, again, we tighten our margins a bit to try and make sure the stores will be able to make a profit margin on them as well. But for individual Kickstarters, because shipping playmats is expensive, it is an extra $10 kind of idea to order the playmats without the store branding on them. So there they are down below. You can get them in horizontal and vertical, which basically means the map just faces one way or the other kind of idea. So yes, anybody can order the playmats. But if you, just like everything else, if you want one with your favorite store's logo or branding on it, you got to talk your store into ordering it because they are going to be the ones who are going to be selling those, not us.
Great question. Thanks, Cardboard.
That was a very good question. Wonderful. This is looking really good so far, and I have the feeling we've only scratched the surface.
There is a fair bit more to talk about still, yes. Also, for the names on token backs, in addition to just getting your normal real life personal name on them, for a higher fee, you could get your social media channel put on it. Like, for example, Imperial Pulls could get their YouTube channel and like a little logo and whatnot put on the back of tokens, along with other social content creators. And for any stores who buy the LGS tier, which we'll be talking about later, you will see that in the LGS tier, it's automatically included for them. So any local game stores who sign up for the LGS tier We'll be getting a selection of playmats with their branding on them. They'll be getting their name printed on the back of tokens with their name and the city the store is located. So good little advertising. People around the world will be seeing your store advertised on the back of the tokens. And then there's the exert tokens and things like that. But we'll talk about the LGS tier when we get to it after we're done summarizing all of these cool add-ons.
Okay, yeah,
It's
we have some other questions in the chat, but I think that you'll probably answer them in a moment.
sure. What do you want to ask them or should we just carry on?
Well, the card golem wants to know if the exert tokens available if they are available outside of the LGS tier or the previewed stretch goal.
So we'll be able to do custom exert tokens for people if they want to add them onto their normal orders, but they won't be able to feature any store's branding or trademark. Or for
Right.
that matter,
Right.
we won't be selling them with anybody's trademark on them. So it would be pretty limited what you can do because like we're not going to sell them with I don't know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on them for you because we don't own that IP and we're not like
Obviously, yeah.
we don't roll that way, right? But if you had
Mhm.
an image that you wanted to get custom exert tokens done on, say your dog, your friend, yourself, whatever, your car, yeah, we could totally do those as add-ons for people. So same
Wonderful.
answers before.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then so we got the and then it ends there with just talking about the playmats for now. So those are the add-ons for now. Now we're gonna get back into talking about all the different levels of tiers that you can go.
Yeah.
You'll remember a minute ago when we were starting here, the first tier, all the 8 champions appearing in alternate frames, non-foil. For $50 Canada, that's the bottom tier. That also includes the updates on like shipping updates and stuff like that, all the behind the scenes stuff through Kickstarter itself. Then we scroll down past the list of all the add-ons. And now if you want to get non-foil and foil versions, which those are going to look really great because as everybody knows, our foils in Invasion turned out really nicely. And I'm excited to see
Yes.
what these alternate frames will look like in foil. You can get the foil and the non-foil. And if you back it during the first 24 hours, which again starts tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, you'll save $10 on the next tier, regular 125. But if you do the early bird special tomorrow, you save $10. You get the foil and the non-foil and the updates through Kickstarter for just $115 plus tax and shipping.
Awesome.
Then once again, one little note here I did put in for clarity. We do have some dual-sided champions. The foiling for these cards will only be on the front side. It just makes it easier. If you print them on both sides, due to the printing process with the equipment used at the printers at our company, it's more likely the backside foils would get scratched while they're like going down the conveyors and stuff. So we don't print foils on the back sides of our cards to make sure that every card always looks as great as it can. So that's the next tier at 115 or 125 if you miss out on the day one discount. Then I'm going to just scroll down a bit because it's going to just keep listing all these available add-ons every time we get to a tier. Then that's 125. That's the normal price if you don't order it on day one. Let's scroll down a little bit more to get to our next tier reward. And I think the next one's going to be a really fun one. It is early bird. You save $10, regular $200, but it'll only be $190 if you get it on day one. 40 champions in new variants, only available through the
Whoa.
Kickstarter. So what this is basically every champion throughout time. If they were done by Haunted Castle Gaming, they're probably going to get redone in updated Edge of Exile templating and style. If it's our new ones from Invasion or Metamorphosis, you just might see them popping up in the traditional Haunted Castle Gaming templating and style. Uh,
Cool.
and, and
That's really interesting.
there might actually be even a couple other alternates that get snuck in there as well. I'm not saying that all 40 are going to be exactly that way, but a lot of them will, and you never know what else you might find. I don't want to put limits on what we can do with them, but it'll be really fun. And I know anybody who chooses this tier is going to be really happy to get it. Basically, if not totally complete, very close to complete collection of every champion ever printed. So it's gonna be lots
Cool.
of fun. You might be wondering too, why 40? That was just there are limits as to like if you do certain key numbers, it's easier, more affordable, and keeps the cost down. So 40 was one of those levels where if we picked exactly 40 champions, it doesn't skyrocket the price. But if it would have been, say, 43, it's this whole schmozzle where like you have to pay a lot more. So we're very much with all of our tiers and all of our rewards. We're always conscious about trying to make sure everything is as affordable as possible for the Genesis fans. That's always been one of our primary tenets we care about the most is that we want to make sure that our game remains affordable for everybody who wants to enjoy it. So that's why we've got 40 champions and new variants, and I think it's going to be a real crowd pleaser, this one.
Yeah. And I want to remind everybody again, we mentioned earlier that all the prices listed here are in Canadian dollars.
Mhm.
So
That's right.
that's important to know, because if you're in Canada, you know that is the price that you're
Yeah.
going to get. And if you're in the US, it's going to seem a bit cheaper than that. So that's we wanted to remind people in case they tuned in a bit later.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. On both sides of that, it can be painful otherwise. Sometimes as a Canadian, I bought something thinking I was looking at Canadian prices, and then I pay way more than I expected. And I know
Yeah.
that I've heard from many United States fans just in the last few weeks that when I was discussing the fact all their prices are Canadian on the Kickstarter, they were all very excited because it's a big savings when they originally thought
Yeah.
that everything was priced in US, and like, oh, this is great. So yeah, it's a
Sure.
feel good on both sides, I believe.
That's right. Cheap at twice the price, right?
Right. I mean, especially that these versions will never appear in booster packs. So this is something that if you buy it now, you might even want to maybe pick up an extra set of the 40 to set aside for later, because it is the kind of thing that I would see over a few years might be in big demand, because we're not going to do these ones again and have them appear in normal booster packs.
So if you're a
So
collector, or if you're the kind of person who likes to roll into your LGS with something special, you know, this is a very good tier for that.
exactly. My goal here is to make all the collectors happy, right? Still, Joe?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's just sitting here wondering if he can if he can afford rent after he buys all the things he wants on this
Leg for
Kickstarter.
sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that tier is $190 if you get it in the first 24 hours, and then it's 200 Canadian for the rest of the month that this campaign will be ongoing. Uh, let's keep going here. That again, that's the regular price tier for that at $200. Then I'll scroll a little farther, and the next one, the next one I'm excited to reveal too, because I know this one is something people are going to be really happy about. At least I believe they will, serialized art style foil champions. So these alternate champions that we were talking about earlier, the ones from Metamorphosis, the 8 champions in the cool alternate frame, we're doing 100 of them, 100 only, serialized from 1 to 100. And if you choose to back at this tier, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the updates via Kickstarter. You're going to get the non-champion meta, the non-foil meta champions. You're going to get the 40 new variant package that we just talked about, and you're going to get these serialized art cards. And the
Oh.
best part of all is you're going to get one copy of all 8 of the champions, and all 8 champions you're going to get at this tier have the same number. So you will get all the 8 out of 100s, or all the 32 out of 100s. And if anybody wants that number, you're going to be the only one who has any of the champions in that number. And I think that's pretty cool. So
Do
I
you know if the backers for that tier will be able to choose their number, or is it like a first come first serve, or do you just kind of get what you get and don't get upset?
So we talked about it on a live stream. I think it was last week's official live stream on the My Night, and what we decided between talking with the community that night in the live stream and what we thought logistically makes the most sense, and to avoid feel bads, we are going to be handing them out in order of orders placed. So if you are the
Okay.
7th person tomorrow to order that tier, or any tier that includes that, because if you look at the screen right now, you'll notice it says 86 out of 86. Not all 100 of these serialized champions are in this tier. A few of them have been reserved for higher tiers, because we want to make sure that if you buy a more expensive tier, you get all the cool stuff from the previous tiers. So if you order any of the tiers that include these serialized cards and you're the first one to do it, you're going to get card number 1 out of 100. If you're the 19th to order, you're getting 19 out of 100 on all of them. And then I'd imagine people will be sharing what order numbers and serialized numbers they got online, talking about it, and people will be trying to do trades and stuff like that if they so choose. But that's how we're deciding to do it.
I like to think that all those backers will be members of a cult where your number determines your level in the cult.
So is the higher number better or lower number?
I think that was a Simpsons episode about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right. I haven't thought of it that far, Joe.
I remember that episode.
I got a question in the chat here, Jay.
Okay.
Maybe you can answer. Cardboard cohorts.
Yeah,
This is from a few moments ago when we were talking about the Canadian versus American pricing.
sure.
Um, he asks, it says, depends really, is the shipping free? If not, it will probably or even out with shipping fees. So do you have a sense yet of the shipping structure cost wise?
So I sort of alluded to it a little bit earlier. Every reward tier and every add-on has a shipping cost assigned to it. That's our estimates based on what we're expecting it to cost. If the costs are higher, we will not be billing people for that because that's just feel bad for everybody. You don't do that. However,
No.
if the collective cost, if the cumulative cost, because you add on a bunch of add-ons, winds up collectively making your entire order ship for less than the shipping, we'll be looking into trying to make refunds to reduce some of the sting. So
Great.
the shipping costs you'll see tomorrow will be worst case scenario, but there's a chance the more you order, there's a very good chance the more you order, the more likely your shipping costs overall will get reduced as you add more items.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's a good answer.
Uh, So, and then I see Damien in one of the chats. Oh, by the way, we haven't even talked about all the places this is streaming live, because it's more than you think, actually. We're live on the Genesis on Facebook. We're live on the Genesis on YouTube. We're live on Imperial Pulls. We're live on the Genesis on Twitch. And I feel like I'm on live on one other one, but I can't check without screwing up the stream. So we're multi-streaming all over the place tonight. And in case this is your first time seeing this, officially, we are live on Imperial Pools channel on YouTube. That's Brian. Right beside him, still Joe. These are two great people, very knowledgeable game industry folks. I question them to learn from them all the time. I think of them as mentors. I think of Brian as a son. I think of Joe as the son that I didn't have. It's a great time, and we're all really good friends.
Well, we appreciate you having us being part of all this. So, for those of you who haven't seen us before, we are Imperial Pulls. You can find us on
Every
YouTube.
Sunday.
Every Sunday we stream. We usually do card pulls or gameplay. We do a lot of Genesis and some other games as well, but we primarily focus on Genesis. So, if you want to see more of us, consider subscribing to us, and you'll be able to see us every week.
So on one of the channels, because I have 4 chats open live right now, I see Shockwave asked a question as well. Shockwave asked, I don't know when, so I apologize if I took too long to reply. Will these champions be printed to the exact quantity sold for the Kickstarter, or will there also be prizes later? So for all these things, our intent is to print the exact quantities. There is an argument that maybe with like the packages of 40 champions, things like that, we might have to round it off to the nearest number, but it will be very close to the exact quantity ordered. Any extras that are left over will probably just go into my personal vault. What I will say to reassure everybody is this is not going to be a case where 5 years from now you're going to see us selling them either ourselves, like as how can I say it without as a hidden lair.
Right
Um,
from
you know,
treasures from the vault, so to
treasures
speak.
from the vault. We're not going to be doing anything like that. So um, uh, the intent is everything that's going to be printed as close to the number that we need. Definitely for the serialized ones, it's exactly 100. There will be no secret extra serialized cards getting printed or anything like that. Um, so yeah, and I'll just say too, I'm very proud of our track record that when our team at Edge of Exile has made promises or commitments, we honor them and we stand by our word. So when I tell you that we are not intending to mass produce any of these things and hide them in a vault to sell for a profit later on, take me for my word because that's the truth. We're just trying to crowdfund and get to the next level. And we're going to talk a little bit about the stretch goals. I know we've talked about them publicly on another stream, but if anybody's watching tonight doesn't know about the stretch goals, after we talk about all the rewards and the add-ons, we'll talk about the amazingly cool things that we're going to be trying to do with these stretch goals. And I am beyond words excited for the future of Genesis. I am just giddy. We're doing some really cool things, and I think everybody's going to love what we're trying to accomplish here.
Well, I'm already very excited. So
Yeah,
to
man.
see what else comes out is great.
Oh, show.
So that tier there, basically, like I mentioned, when you get your serialized champions, you also get one of everything from the previous tiers. We're going to be keeping on with that theme as we move on. I do think the next one, though, is going to be talking about the local game store tier. So we're going to talk about that for a minute now once we get here. Let's see if that is the next one coming up. And it is. So on the screen here, you're going to get to see a little bit about the local game store tier. And now here's a couple things I want to talk about. And I hope that people who are watching will relay these messages back to their local game stores. We actively put a lot of thought into this for a lot of reasons. One, I wanted to make sure that this is not going to be a crazy dollar amount that local game stores can't afford to buy into. So the local game store tier that you have to prove that you're working and ordering on behalf of a brick and mortar game store will only ship it to addresses that are verified brick and mortar game stores. The cost for this tier for individual game stores is only $900 plus any applicable tax or shipping kind of idea. So that's pretty reasonable because I do remember, and this is not a knock at all. Please don't think that I'm talking bad about anybody. But I do remember the old Genesis Kickstarter when it happened. I owned a local game store, and most of the tiers were priced well out of my price range as a small game store in a small town. And I was really disappointed because there was some stuff I really wanted to be able to order in for my customers, and I couldn't do it. So the first thing I want to stress for people here is we actively want to make sure that this is an affordable tier. Now, the rewards inside this tier, again, we've talked about them basically, but I'll just reiterate real quick. You can see on the screen the image of what the Exert tokens look like. They're metal, they're shiny, they got the logo in the middle. We're going to do them in custom color schemes. Whatever colors a store's brand is, those are the colors we're going to use. We're going to match it to your color scheme, make them look really great. If you want more, you can order more. This tier starts with 50 metal tokens included that you can sell in 5s or 10s, whatever you want. It includes one custom jersey with your store's branding on it for either the owner or their favorite staff member or whoever to wear. They can add more jerseys if they want with the store branding. It includes getting the store's name and the city the store is in listed on the back of tokens. So that'll be really cool. That's kind of immortalizing the store in a way because we all know even games that have been out of business for years, you see packs every now and then. People love going back and look at old games, and even with games like Magic, for example, you see people opening up old booster packs on streams all the time. So
We
even
do
if
it.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
right. So like this is something that years from now people are going to be opening up booster packs on camera and be like, oh, let's see who the stores were, or let's see who the people were that were mentioned. So it's a good way to keep your store's name on people's minds, and I'm really proud of that. And then, of course, the playmats, where your store's name is going to be hidden somewhere in the globe, somewhere in the world of our game. And that's going to be really fun for players to look at and show off in a little Easter egg. And so I'm really happy. I think that these are all some really exciting rewards that I know
Yeah.
if my local game store had it, I would want to order as a player. I'd want to get the cool play mat with the store's name on it so that when I travel, people see it. I'd want my local game store to order this so that I could open up packs and see my favorite game store's name on cards that I'm opening when I'm playing in a draft or a Genesis sealed event. So I think it's a really great tier for game stores. I think it's a really great value for game stores. I think that the products that they're going to be ordering through this tier, they're going to be able to sell at a nice little markup in stores. So they're supporting the game supporting them, and that is the circle of life that we here at Edge of Exile constantly talk about. Is we want to support the people that support us, and this entire Kickstarter is designed around that to support our community, to support the game stores who carry us, and most of all, to not cannibalize any sales. None of these rewards are things that we're ever going to go into retail shelves. We are not selling anything here that 3 months from now stores are going to be ordering from a distributor. Not That's not our business model. We are very much a high tide rises all ships. And so that's something I hope that all the people watching tonight and who watch these live stream replays in the future will please relate to your local game stores. Is Genesis is a game that's motivated to make everybody succeed, not just
So
us.
will these playmats, Jason, be available post Kickstarter?
That's a great question. As it is right now, it is not our intention to recreate any of these things, at least
Oh,
not in their exact configuration. There will be opportunities in the future, I'm sure of it, for us to do cool stuff branded with stores' names on it. But if you want to get this specific image of this world map, this is your only chance to get it with your store's name on it. And I'll tell you one of the main reasons why that is, and you probably haven't thought of it. We already have other sections of the world that we're going to be visiting in future sets. Once this story progresses in this area that the game has been in for the last 7 years, the game and the lore will be moving to other areas with new things to explore. And those will be the images that you'll see on future store branded products.
awesome.
So yeah, checking the chat. I think I've answered all the questions so far that I can see. So moving on from the brick and mortar game stores, the next one, and this one's got a bit of a cost to it, but it's because it's a really cool, almost like a once in a lifetime experience kind of thing. This is a really cool reward I'm so excited about. We've talked about it a little bit on one or two other streams. The next reward is, and it's only available for 10 people, you can see yourself in the game. Backers at this tier. Now, first of all, you're still going to get those awesome serialized cards. You're going to get everything else you talked about before, but you're also going to get a chance to send us an image of you, and we will work in conjunction with our really great artists. And everybody knows our art has been phenomenal for the last several sets. We're going to have an artist base a character in a card on the image you provide us. Now, that's
Is
not
there
to say.
room for 2 people on a card?
Maybe we'll see. For you guys, maybe, yeah. Otherwise, so but yeah, so the idea is with this, we'll speak to our artists, we'll get them to do up art after providing them the image you give us. And I want to be clear, it's not like we're naming a character after you that's going to be recurring. What this is, for example, there might be a fireball spell in one of the next sets, and you could be the guy getting blasted in the face with a fireball. Or it might be like a reprint of Inferno Pits, and somebody could be getting burned in the lava, and you could be the girl getting burned in the lava. Like it's that kind of idea. So it won't be a character that's going to be appearing in the lore, but it's going to be a prominent feature in the artwork. You're going to see the card. Anybody who knows you will immediately recognize you in the art. That's the goal. And the cool thing is, again, this is a card that will appear in either Metamorphosis or Cataclysm, the set after, because we're going to try and work with you as much as we can to try and get you into a card that's the type of card you'd like, if we can make it work, depending on card availability and design factors. But yeah, it's a really exciting thing. And there have been a few interesting cases of that in the past. I forget the name of the card off the top of my head, and I really should know it. But I think Joe's going to know right away when I say that there was a card in the past that looked a lot like Sandra Bullock was in the card, and everybody who
Oh,
saw it, everybody who saw it all the time was
Beta.
immediately like,
yes. Oh, I know what it is. It was called like. Oh
Where's my beta
no!
box?
It's right
like
on
it,
the tip of my tongue.
was it
Somebody's
Dedicated
going to know.
Studies? Is it Dedicated Studies or
Dedicated
no?
studies?
Is it? It
Uh,
might not
it
be.
was
I'm not
like
sure.
Insanity or something, or
Oh, I'm
uh,
embarrassed. I'm looking it up.
But so think of that kind of example. Yeah, if you tell me the name, I'll actually look it up and I'll put it on the screen. But that's the kind of idea where for anyone who knows you as the backer, it'll be instantly recognizable that, oh my God, that's Brian in that card. I know that guy. But for other people across the world, it's just going to be cool art with another character in it. So it'll be a really cool opportunity to immortalize yourself. And in a perfect world, the thing that I like about this idea the most is I love the idea somebody's going to do this back at this level, get their art on a card, and then someday in the next year or two, they're going to be at a major Genesis championship around people they've never met before.
oh,
And a whole
we
bunch of people are going to be like, wait a minute, I know you.
we have an answer from Card Golem in the chat. It's alpha/beta dedicated studies.
It is
So
dedicated
there
studies.
was decade studies. Okay, perfect.
And cardboard cohorts got it as well. So all points to the chat. I know I've seen it many
Nice.
times, and I just in my mind I couldn't. Oh yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
right. So you see how that looks a lot like Sandra Bullock? I'm not saying the artist went for that deliberately, but I could totally believe it. Imagine that, but it could be your face in any kind of cool spell. So it's a really cool thing that I think for a lot of collectible card game fans could be a dream come true to have a card printed in a set, released to stores around the world, featuring you in a prominent part of the artwork. So that's something I always thought as a Magic player for years. It was a dream of mine. It's like, God, I wish there'd be a card that would come out and it just randomly looked like I was in it. How cool would that be? So a lot of these tiers and
I'd like
rewards.
to buy that tier and then have somebody look at it and say, "Wow, that guy was getting hit in the face with a fireball. Sure, let himself go." We don't know who that guy is, but he could eat a salad. Cool beard though.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these rewards are things that I always thought that would be amazing things if I could ever have got them. Like that's the things I always dreamed about as a collectible card game fan. So that's the inspiration behind a lot of these rewards is we're trying to make some dreams come true a little bit while we're also working towards growing the game and doing some really awesome stuff. And then if we're good with that one, there's one tier left. and it is called the Ultimate Metamorphosis Package. And when I say ultimate,
What?
this is going to be the ultimate, my friends. Now, keep in mind, Canadian dollars, Canadian dollars, Canadian dollars, not U.S. funds. So better deal for the states than they might have expected. You're going to get everything. You're going to get the updates via Kickstarter. You're going to get all the Metamorphosis champions in the alternate art, foil and non-foil. You're going to get the 40 champion cards throughout time with the new variant templating. You're going to get a set of the serialized alt style champion cards. So depending what order you go, it could be any number between 1 and 100, but you'll get all the champions. You're also going to see yourself in an actual card. That cool thing we just talked about, that's included in this tier. And then on top of that, you're going to get all of the t-shirts, you're going to get all the add-ons, you're going to get all the play mats, you're going to get everything that doesn't have
Woo!
it. You're going to get everything that does not have a store's brand on it. So you're going to get all
Muy
the
picante.
both versions of the playmats, all the t-shirts. I'll mention too, in case you're wondering, the t-shirts are available in every size, like traditional men's sizes from like small to 4XL, 5XL, something around there. So especially at this package, if you're ordering it, you need some weird funky size, we will make the effort to get it for you, because this is the ultimate package. And what else is included with this as well? You're also going to be getting the custom jersey. Let's not forget that. That's amazing. You're going to get your name as an individual put on the back of the tokens. So if that was something you really liked, it's part of the ultimate package. And then one of the last things, it's not even listed in the Kickstarter itself, is you are going to get to be a guest host on an official episode of Genesis's
Oh,
live stream every Monday night, Beyond the Edge of Exile. We have 4 of these ultimate packages for up to 4 lucky people. If all 4 sell out, we're going to do a month where every week we're going to feature another ultimate champion who are going to be zooming in the way Brian and Joe and I are zooming in from separate locations tonight for this live stream. We're going to talk about this ultimate fan's history with collectible card games, what brought them into Genesis. We're going to talk about what card they're hoping that they're going to see themselves in the future, because that's part of the ultimate tier. All that amazing stuff. So that final tier, that ultimate tier,
That's super cool.
is for 2,500 Canadian, not American, but it includes everything. And I know 2,500 sounds like a big number, but I think it's actually a really great value with all the things included, including some kind of once in a lifetime opportunities. I think people are going to really respond well to all this stuff. So we have some tiers that are very low price if you just want to dip your toes in and support. And then we go up to the extravagant. It's going to be a really fun month as this Kickstarter goes live.
well, that's wicked. I'm glad to be a part of this and help
Yeah.
kind of show the world about it, because nobody else has seen this yet.
No, this is great. Thank you for sharing this with us. So, have you seen so far how many people are on the notify list for your Kickstarter so far?
Oh, I think I checked yesterday and it was around 40. So
So I'm
something
sure
like
it's going
that.
to be a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, here's a little bit of insider news. I don't know if I told one of you privately this before. I think I did mention it to Joe. Is I just recently got invited to go to a convention in New Jersey, Collecticon.
Mhm.
Collecticon, which markets itself as a series of the largest collectible card game conventions in North America. I'll be at New Jersey in 2 weeks from now while the Kickstarter is live, doing demos with a good friend of mine at the booth. We're going to be sharing the booth with with one of our distribution partners, Indie Pro Games, because again, we're doing everything in conjunction with our distribution partners, with their blessing. We're doing all this stuff to try and benefit the distribution partners, the game stores, and the players. So we're going to be there working with Indie Pro Games, doing demos, teaching people to play Genesis, and I'm going to have a really nice laminated sheet there showing off all the Kickstarter rewards that they could buy in at the time. Now, how cool would that be if you're at a huge convention, you just did a demo for a game you never heard of before, but you love it. It's tactical. It's everything you wish other games would have been like. You're enjoying it. You could buy booster boxes right there because all the products available. And oh my God, I have a chance to be featured on a card. Sign me up.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm very excited to get there in 2 weeks and share the word.
That is amazing. There's so many great tiers. Got a question in our chat here. Is the link to the Kickstarter going to be on the Genesis website?
Yeah, I'm going to update the website sometime tomorrow to make sure it's very visible on the actual homepage. So if people just go to the main homepage, there'll be a button or something like that sometime tomorrow before or after it goes live. I have a lot going on tomorrow because again, I have to be ready right at 12 to make this go live. And to be honest, because it's my first Kickstarter, I don't know if it's as simple as just pushing one button or if I'm going to be like doing a lot of stuff and entering a lot of info to make it go live. Like, I don't know how many steps are left. I just stopped at the point where they're like, if you do any more, it might go live. And I'm like, okay, we're going to stop for now. But the goal is to have it go live right at 12 noon Eastern, like I mentioned. And then I will work on other stuff like updating the website to put a prominent link there. There'll be the link shared on our Facebook and in Discord and all sorts of places. But yeah, the link, if for anybody who wants to remember it, is bit.ly/GBOC Kickstarter. So really easy to remember that.
That's terrific.
Yeah. Trying to make everything as easy as we can for the fans and the followers.
Well, it seems like a real fan-centric Kickstarter. This isn't like you said, you're not selling booster boxes. You've got that covered. This is just like for the real fans. This is some fan service. They can get cool cards. They can get cool shirts. They can get like all that stuff. They can get their face on a card. They can whatever. Like it really is like a fan fantasy, right? Like all those things. So I think it's really interesting. You mentioned a little bit earlier. You mentioned a little bit earlier, Jason, about like if you're not doing this Kickstarter in order to raise money for, like you're not selling booster boxes. What are you raising these funds for exactly?
I'm really glad you asked that. I had just remembered myself that I hadn't covered that yet. So I'm just getting ready on my end to show you a different part of the Kickstarter, which is a little bit of the story, because there's a whole story on the Kickstarter. There has to be about who you are as a company, what your goals are, why you're doing this. But part of it too, there's an image there that will show everybody what our stretch goals are, because that's the most important thing is what are we trying to accomplish with this Kickstarter? And I think people are going to really love when they see what cool things we're working to accomplish. So I'm finding that image so that I can load it up on the screen here. And a matter of fact,
while you pull that up, Jason, the Card Golem has just commented in our feed. There are actually 50 followers on the Kickstarter now, so that's amazing.
Well, that's great to hear. That's definitely growth since I checked this morning, because I think it was either 40 or 41 this morning. So even on a quiet day where we haven't really done much publicly, word's getting out a little bit. So that's great. And again,
once our video gets out there in the world, 2,000 followers.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah,
speaking of followers, we only have 89. I'd love to get to 90. That's just what I'm thinking.
If there's somebody out there who doesn't currently follow Imperial Pulls and would like to, we won't stop you.
No.
In fact, we encourage it.
Yeah, head on over to the channel if you're watching on one of the other streams. YouTube.com/the Imperial Pulls will take you right to their channel. Hit that like button or that subscribe button on YouTube, and make sure to ring that bell so that every time they do awesome content, you get to tune in and watch it. Now,
and I need to mention something that's very important. Sorry, Jason, to cut you off there.
No, please.
We need to beat Madtown Keith to 100 followers. This is no joke.
Oh God! Don't ask me to pick favorites. Don't ask me to pick favorites between content creators. I love you all equally.
We've had some healthy competition. We keep going like this, video wise and follower wise. You know what? It might be Madtown, but let me go take a look.
I did not know about this. This is something they cooked up.
Go check it out. Follow Madtown. He's got some great stuff.
You should follow Madtown Hobby.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, he did a really great video. He did a really great video just a day or two ago, and the title is basically Genesis 2.0, and he talks about his thoughts about the Kickstarter, the things that we've done here at Edge of Exile, which again is a very different company than the original, which was Haunted Castle Gaming, and how he talks a little bit about how people associate one with the other, and it is a really good video. So definitely check that out. Yeah. Genesis 2.0. It might still be his most recent video, although he does put out a lot of great content for a lot of great games. So it'll definitely
it looks like it is his most recent video.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Also, so it turns out he has 104 subscribers. So unfollow him. Follow us.
No. I can't.
No, don't unfollow anybody.
Do not do that. Madtown, we love your content and the camaraderie and chats we've had. Congratulations on 100, and we'll follow you up there shortly.
Cardboard Cohorts is in the chat and says, LOL, it's okay, guys. My channel has lost viewers. I'm down like 294 from not doing content, but I'm coming back very soon. So be
Amazing.
thankful you're growing. So if you also Cardboard Cohorts, if you want to look them up as well, they have a channel, and it's also very cool. So check them out. It's just a big love circle here. Everybody
It really is.
you know what? We all get along really well. We haven't all of us met in person. Some of us have. Some of us have. But we all have the card gaming in common, and it's a big internet, so you need all the friends you can get.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yes, please
Follow everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But especially us.
We need the monetization.
That's right.
So we were going to talk about the stretch goals and what we're doing this whole Kickstarter to accomplish.
Yes.
So we can maybe take a look at that if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to share my screen again here as soon as I find the right button. There it is. Nope, that's not it. This is it. There we go. So there's this whole long story about the history of the game above this, but I'm not going to scroll through that right now. Please feel free to read that tomorrow when the Kickstarter goes live. The main thing to talk about is you're going to see at the bottom of the screen right now, it talks about our primary goal. So our primary goal, as I scroll down, you're going to see right away, our primary goal is $40,000. At $40,000, which is the make it or break it. And again, that's Canadian funds, not American. It's just around 29,500 in US funds. So a lot lower than some of our American friends were initially thinking we were trying to raise. At $40,000 Canadian, our campaign successfully funded. We get to go ahead and send Metamorphosis to the printers, and it'll come out in stores on track like we're hoping for sometime late this summer. And that is the bare minimum, but it's also a really exciting thing because I've seen over on Chrono Walkers, you might be familiar with Shahan, who's part of our rules team. He said, and Eric, who's part of the game testing team, they've both said that they think that Metamorphosis is going to be the greatest set ever. I agree with that. I'm not putting words in their mouth. That is basically word for word what they've said. We all feel that way at Edge of Exile. We're extremely proud of Metamorphosis, and we think this is going to be an amazingly fun set that people are going to react really strongly to, and we believe that the community is going to grow a lot and benefit a lot from that, which of course benefits all those local game stores trying to make a profit selling booster boxes. So I'm excited about that. But now let's talk about the stretch goals officially. At 45,000, you know those Metamorphosis champions, all the ones that are single-sided, meaning not the few double-sided. Those single-sided ones, we're going to be able to add textless full art champions on the back of them. So that'll be really cool. That was something that was popular back in the day with Haunted Castle. They did some champions where the normal side had all the text and the backside had full art. So once you were comfortable with the abilities and you had it all memorized, you could just enjoy the art in all its glory. So that's something we want to bring back. So that happens when we hit the $45,000 mark. Then at $50,000 Canadian, this is the one that I think I'm the most excited about. And I mean, I'm really excited about this. At $50,000 Canadian, we're going to be able to roll out a new and enhanced organized play program that'll be able to come out right when Metamorphosis releases. It'll be exciting. And this organized play program will have every bell and whistle that I could ask for. As some of you may remember, we've partnered with Best Coast Pairings, which is a really great company that specializes in tournament software, reliability, and organized play. And we're thrilled to be partnered with them because they have several different tiers with several different options. And their top tier will enable us to do so many amazing things that we know that our Genesis community is going to love. Including, there'll be an organized play point system where every week when you go play your weekly event at your local game store playing Genesis, you earn points for participating, you'll earn points for your results, and if you earn enough points, you'll be able to qualify for things like maybe getting buys at a future major event. You'll be able to earn loyalty points that you might even be able to redeem. This is something that we're working on in the back end. If you hit certain milestones for playing in enough events over a year, maybe we send you some really cool promos that again, don't come in booster boxes. Something special because you were one of the most active people who played the most events. And I mean, it could be the top 100 people, could be the top 1,000 people worldwide. But the more you play, the more cool rewards you could qualify for that we would ship directly to your local game store to be given to you. There's so many cool things. Also, the fact that at that level you'll be able to see your gameplay history. You'll be able to there'll be a deck builder involved at that point, so you'll be able to make decks online. and then
Ooh.
share them. That's something that's been requested a lot. So if we get up to that top tier, that enables a really great, really robust deck builder, and I know that's something that people have been wanting for a long time, ever since Coliseum of Fate kind of shut down. So that's exciting. I know that's something people are going to love. So with organized play, making it better, encouraging people to play in their local game stores, giving them more incentives to play in their local game stores, meaning more incentives to spend money at your local game stores and help them succeed. This is the tier that, as a former game store owner myself, I'm the most excited about, because I know that this tier can do a really huge benefit for local game stores, for the players, and for us doing organized play. Not to mention, at that tier as well, stores will be able to do competitive events where deck lists have to be submitted electronically. We would get access to all those deck lists, which means all of a sudden we have the ability to see all the meta around the world of people playing Genesis. We have the ability to publish things like that, do informed articles on what people are playing, where they're playing it, how it's doing, what the results are. The content that we would be able to share and build and create with that extra data available to us, it would be night and day, and there'd be so much great content that could come out thanks to that. So that's why the $50,000 Canadian tier is the one I'm most excited about. I think that there's just so many benefits. But of course, that's not the final stretch goal. We have more cool stuff to discuss as well.
Go on.
Our next tier at $60,000, new organized play promo packs that will be available when Metamorphosis
Whoa.
releases. Now, this is another one that I know a lot of people are going to be
Mwah.
excited about. Remember how I was just talking about how we want to focus on creating more incentives to get people to go out to the local game store and play and shop? This is a great one, because ever since we came into existence and started carrying on the Genesis Battle of Champions banner, we've been sending tons of promo packs to game stores, but they're the old ones that the previous company had made. These new promo packs that we'll be releasing will be obviously our newly redesigned cards featuring the new card
We love
backs,
me
the
some
new
promos.
templating. There's going to be some really cool secret promos in our wave, because our
Whoa.
promo packs with our printer, and again, we had to make a new contract with a new printer. We weren't able to use any of the old companies that the old creator of Genesis had. Our new printer is awesome, if I do say so myself. They're going to be able to make a large card pool of cards, so there'll be a variety of cards going into those promo packs. It won't feel like you're getting the same 3 cards every time you open them. There's going to be a little bit of rarity, a little bit of chase. There'll be a couple, like, and I'm just making up a word, but it'd be like ultra rare cards. And I don't mean the rarity printed on the card, but I mean ultra rare is in super hard to find, bit of a lottery feel to it, that every now and then somebody in the stores can open up this amazing card that you've only seen once or twice, kind of idea. So I'm really, really excited. Like, I'm really
Joe's
excited,
ears just perked up like this. Like,
right? I
whoa.
know a lot of players are going to perk up when they hear that. It's exciting news that there's going to be some really fun chase and collectability as rewards that you'll be given for free for participating in your local game store. Because again, those promo packs, we don't sell them to local game stores. We print them on our own bill, we ship them to stores on our own bill, and they get them for free to give out during authorized sanctioned events. So it's a great way that we can support the game stores and the community and add even a little bit more excitement to those Genesis events happening every week in your local game store.
That's awesome.
That's it. That's very
Yeah.
exciting.
Now, then the next reward after this one is one near and dear to my heart at 70,000. Everybody who orders any tier of the Kickstarter and backs us will get a special commemorative set of exert tokens. At 70,000, our lucky little minion who makes all of our metal exert tokens will be busy for months just pounding them out. It's going to be amazing. He's going to be so excited making thousands of amazing commemorative metal exert tokens. And I can just imagine his smiling face right now. I can just imagine he's going to be so
I wonder what
excited.
it would look like.
I mean, we'll pay him to make them, but you, the Kickstarter backers, won't have to pay anything to get them. At 70,000, you're going to get them for free as a cool bonus. So that's something cool to aim for. But then, of course, the final stretch goal. And I used the word ultimate before talking about reward tiers. The ultimate stretch goal, the one that could really make a bit of an impact on the industry, and I'm excited for, is at 150,000 Canadian, not US. Genesis will be able to reapply to get listed on tcgplayer.com. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's huge. TCGplayer.com owns BinderPOS, which is one of the two leading inventory systems that game stores all over the world use. If we get listed on TCG Player, what that means is all the game stores around the world who are signed up and have their inventory system managed by BinderPOS will automatically, instantly have access to accurate day-to-day pricing for every Genesis single without doing any extra work. If a card gets
Oh,
played in a major tournament and the value around the world goes up, those stores will know the price change on a daily basis. It will make it so easy for game stores around the world to buy and sell Genesis singles in addition to the sealed product that they already carry. Um, it's a bit of a pun to say it, but this tier, getting listed on TCG Player, would be a game changer. It would instantly
yeah.
give us major recognition. It would make it so much easier for stores who love to sell singles to sell our singles. It helps legitimize independent games that people haven't heard of because there's this hefty fee in getting listed on TCG Player. And most independent games never manage to raise the money to accomplish that. And here's the cool backstory. Genesis Battle Champions, sometime during the last year they were in business at Haunted Castle Gaming, they got approved by TCG Player to have Genesis listed. It was a ton of work. I'm told that they're very thorough on what they want to filter out to make sure only the best games get listed. Genesis got approved, but they weren't able to cut that very big check that they needed to make it happen before they unfortunately wound up shuttering their doors unexpectedly. So if we can reach that tier, we can instantly reapply. I'm expecting we'll probably be approved very quickly because we're in a much better spot than the old company was. We have bigger distribution partners. We have more stores carrying us. We're already better known than when the old company closed down. I feel like it's a really great fit, and it'd be a quick process for us to get listed on TCG Player. And then at that point, when we have the new tournament software, the new organized play, the new promo packs, Metamorphosis is out. We already have the next set, Cataclysm, almost completely designed and ready to send to printers as well. And we're on TCG Player, and more stores start buying and selling the singles. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I feel that for Genesis, at that point, the sky will be the limit.
Well, I know from working at a TCG what a difference that's going to make for the LGSs and for anybody who's I don't know anybody who's watching has ever tried to buy Genesis singles. It's a bit tricky, I'm not going to lie, because there isn't that centralized place like TCG Player where prices are kind of standardized across, the marketplace. And also, I know from working at an LGS, inputting each individual single into your point of sale system is a slog. So a lot of stores just won't do that. So if it is in their system already through TCG Player, Binder POS, they just have to say, yep, we sell Genesis, and now it's all in the system. So I think it would encourage more stores to participate. And I know for maybe like a person watching this who doesn't know about all this back end stuff, it might seem like, oh, well, what's the big deal? It is actually a really big deal, and it would really help to legitimize Genesis in the marketplace, like just to be among the group of very major games. It's a very big deal, and I think it's a very good stretch goal.
Yeah, just to further illuminate that a little bit for people, the biggest problem when you're not listed on a service provider like TCG Player is if you wanted to buy and sell Genesis cards in your store, you would have to get an image of every card ever printed, put them into your database. Then you'd have to type in all the information that appears on that card manually. What's the rarity? What's the casting cost? How all that kind of stuff. Then you get to deal with the price after, and you got to guess what the prices are. You got to keep track manually all the time on what cards people are coming in and buying more than other ones so that you can adjust the price because supply and demand. The more cards in demand, the higher the price goes. And you got to constantly be comparing your prices to the other few stores out there that are selling singles so that you're not getting undercut. It is almost impossible for small game stores with very limited staff to do that. It's basically a non-starter. So when a game like us gets listed with TCG Player, all of that work, all of it's gone. All of a sudden, all the singles magically show up in your inventory, and all you have to do is tell the computer how many copies you have. The image is already there, the price is already set for you, all the data about what players need to know for rarity and what the card does, all of it's already typed in. It is literally a game changer, and it is, as both Brian and I have said, it really helps to legitimize a small independent game and show that it can compete on a bigger market with the big ones. So that's why that is the ultimate Kickstarter stretch goal for us. Because if factoring in everything else before that, if we reach that goal, um, I couldn't even fathom to guess how bright the future for Genesis will be. Like, we've done a lot on a very small budget and with a very small but very passionate community. The amount of eyes that would become aware of Genesis overnight once it's listed on TCG Player, it's incredible to think about.
This has been exciting.
This
I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I know where you're going to be.
Yep. So keep in mind tomorrow, right around 12 noon Eastern, it's going to be very close within a couple minute window of then. It's going to go live. You'll be able to start submitting your backers and your tier that you want, what add-ons you want. For game stores and for anybody who tries to order the LGS game store tier, I'll just let you know that we will be reaching out to verify the shipping address is an actual brick and mortar store. We're going to double check on all that stuff because we want to make sure that only game stores can get those cool rewards. We're really excited to support game stores and help them be even
Do
more
you think
successful.
we can open a game store before tomorrow at noon?
Probably.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I know where there's an empty building where you could put one. Just saying.
I got to buy an ice cream machine now.
Yeah. I don't know if the guy will sell it, but I know who has one. So
Well, Jason, thank you so much for letting us be a part of this tonight.
thank you for letting me join you and kind of hijacking your stream. I kind of dropped this on you really suddenly today, early in the day. So I appreciate you guys being game for it because you had the right time slot Sunday night before it goes live, and it was a lot of fun to discuss all this with both of you. And I appreciate it, and I look forward to future streams together now that this has worked successfully.
Yeah,
I said to Brian, I was excited that you asked. And I said, if any other game would have asked us to do the same thing, we'd be pretty excited and flattered that anybody asked us. Because it's you, it's because it's a game that we love. It's a friend.
Yeah,
we were super stoked. So
yeah,
as soon as it came up, it was like we've got to do this.
Well, we wanted to know what was in all the tiers too. So this was the fastest way for us to know.
Yeah.
Now you can get your calculator out tonight, Joe, and figure out just how much you want to splurge tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight.
You going to be counting your pennies from the piggy bank?
Yeah. I think Kickstarter takes pennies still, right?
Yeah.
I'd be very curious to see if anybody in the chat wants to share with us what they were most excited about that they learned tonight. Just to know if there was any tiers that anybody in particular, any rewards that they're like, oh, that's really cool. I want that for sure. I'd love to hear some feedback. If anybody wants to share.
I think the serialized ones are cool.
I'm honestly, I know it was a lower tier, but the just the alternate art cards with the different designs and everything on them, I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, and that's an easy one to get. It's not like you have to fight people for it. So that's a really good one. And the serialized cards, especially for collectors, I mean, that's a no-brainer. T-shirts are fun. Everybody likes T-shirts. That's great.
I'm biased, but the jerseys are exciting because they're so unique.
Yeah. We got somebody in our chat says the card golem says I've got my eye on maybe the 40 champs and possibly the map.
Yeah, I was wondering. I think the playmat's going to do really well. I have always loved maps in general. In fantasy games, role-playing games, card games, all that kind of thing. So when I was trying to think what would be a really cool exclusive playmat to do on this Kickstarter, I was like, I know, we've been really featuring this new map and this world building and the lore. And I thought that would probably be something people would really like is to get a playmat with the map. And again, this specific map will never be on a playmat again. We'll the next time we do a mat on a playmat, a map on a play mat. The next time we do that, it'll be when the game's progress to a whole new continent. So it'll be fun.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I guess we could ask you which one you're most excited about, but I feel like I don't feel like that's a fair question to you.
Like a lot of the rewards were ideas that I thought of. So in a way, you're kind of asking me to pick my favorite child, but I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
the coolest add-on for me would be the playmat, I think. I would love, and if I was just a normal player playing at my favorite game store every week, I would be bugging my local game store to try and get the LGS tier for $900 because I would love to have a playmat with my favorite local game store's name on it to take to other stores. I think that'd be really cool. And then as far as the tiers go, in a perfect world, if I had nothing to do with the game and I was just seeing this Kickstarter for the first time, and I had to figure out what tier that I wanted to go to, my gut kind of tells me that I would definitely be springing for at least the $300 tier with the serialized cards because I think knowing that there's only 100 of these champions with a print number on them, getting one of those my card player, not my card game company mind, but my card player mind tells me that's probably a good risk on an investment that might, if the game keeps going the way it's been going, that could be worth a lot later on in the future. So that would be, I wouldn't want to miss out on the serialized cards. And of course,
Mhm.
that tier includes the 40 champions, all with different templatings than we've ever seen before. And that I love. I love the idea that we're going to see champions throughout time. As if kind of like from an alternate universe, if the other company would have made this champion, what would it look like? I think that's gonna be really fun. So that would be the minimum tier I would make sure. But to be honest with you, if I had a high paying job, I'd try and put myself in the game.
I want to touch base on something you just said, Jason. So for the LGS tier that they
Yep.
can order the mats and stuff. So as a player, if I want the LGS mat, I should be going to my LGS now and saying, can you order an extra mat for me?
Well,
And getting your
the tier includes 10. That's the minimum
oh, it
purchase.
includes 10. Okay.
Yeah. So at $900, I guess I didn't go over those specifics. Let me get back to that page for a second just to talk about it. At $900, I know offhand that you automatically, as a store, you get 10 play mats. You get
Okay.
50 tokens, so you could sell those in sets of 5 or 10 or whatever. You can add more play mats. You can add more tokens. The reason for that, and there is a reason that makes sense, um, as soon as you change an image at all, it's a whole different print run at the playmat companies who manufacture it. So to keep the costs low and affordable for stores so that they could sell it at a reasonable price, I knew that we needed each exact version to have at least 10 playmats ordered. So that's why that goes that way. For the LGS store, they're going to get 10 minimum, but if they want to add one more to make it 11 or five more to make 15, they can do that. And then it also includes the exert tokens. They get the one jersey with their store branding on it automatically, and they can add more. And again, some of these things like the playmat and the jersey are slightly less for stores. We took a bit of a cut on the crowdfunding for us because again, we want to always really support stores. It's really important to everybody on our team that we support the stores and help them make a profit. Janice and I feel really passionate because we were former game store owners ourselves, and we want to be the best ally we can for game stores and communities.
Awesome.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
All
Perfect.
right.
Well, like I said, I'm super stoked. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna be watching.
yeah,
And it's not all just on tomorrow, although that is when the 24-hour discounts are, is tomorrow. But the
of
campaign
course.
will be running for 30 days. And again, I want to reiterate that in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be down at New Jersey at a huge collectible card gaming convention, doing demos on the spot and promoting the Kickstarter at that point. I think that that weekend could be see a huge spike because, and this is just the honest truth, in the history at any other conventions we've been doing, we were at Gamma, we were at the Universal Summit in Montreal last year. Anytime we get to sit down with people and demo the game, people respond really, really positively to it. At the end of the day, Genesis is an amazingly fun game to play. And I have no doubt that when I'm showing people a store locator and showing there's all these stores already carrying the product, and there's this Kickstarter, and you could actually be immortalized in a card or get these cool alternate arts nobody will ever be able to get again after. I have no doubt we're going to raise a lot of interest in the Kickstarter, and I think that's going to be a really great weekend for us. And I'm not
Awesome.
going alone either. I've got a friend coming down with me, so there's going to be two of us doing demos nonstop and teaching people the game. So yeah, as excited I am for tomorrow, and I do think we'll have a really good first day. I just believe in all my heart that when we get down to New Jersey and do demos for thousands of people, I think we're going to see this Kickstarter really see some big growth.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Again, thank you for hijacking our stream tonight. It's a welcome addition to what we talk about in our love of Genesis and TCGs and our love of cardboard, really.
Yeah.
It was my pleasure. My apologies to Matt Damon. We ran out of time this week. We'll have to try and book him in on a future episode.
Well, he knows what he did.
Yeah, he does. Well, it's your show, not mine. So you take it from here. Anything else you want to talk about? You're the leaders.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for watching across all the platforms right now. If you like what you saw, we are Imperial Pulls on YouTube. You can find us there by searching for us, or go to imperialpulls.com. It'll take you right to the source.
Oh, I
We're
didn't know
also
that. Very cool.
That's right. You can also email us at hello@imperialpulls.com if you want to ask us a question privately. We do live streams Sunday nights like this. Not usually like this. We usually do card pulls or gameplay.
Yep.
Mostly Genesis, but we do other games as well. Genesis, I just said that. Magic or Pokemon or Flesh and Blood or lots of different games. We also do shorts on Mondays and Fridays. So if you like seeing little card pull shorts in your feed, you can come and subscribe to us. That would be terrific. You can reach us through those means. We're also on TikTok, Discord and Facebook. So come check us out, and we hope that we see you again.
Yeah.
Hey, can I do one last really quick announcement? It's relevant before we go.
Sure.
I just remembered something else. Not necessarily Kickstarter related, but Genesis related. First time we're announcing this publicly, specifically for in Canada. As currently in Canada, there's only one authorized distributor, whereas in the States we have two, and then we have distribution in Europe. In Canada, effective immediately, if there is a brick and mortar game store that is not a customer of our current distributor, we will begin shipping product directly. But those stores will have to prove that they are a brick and mortar store. We'll verify them and all that. But if there are any game stores who don't have an account with our official distributor in Canada, and they can prove that they're brick and mortar, they can begin ordering product by contacting us at hello@edgeofexile.com. So I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow during our weekly live stream, but I just thought I'd get all the good info out tonight.
Get it all out. That's terrific. Yes. Thank you again for being here and giving us the straight goods straight from the source. Not a lot of channels like us get that kind of access, so we really, really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate all the great content that you guys make, and it was a pleasure. I hope we can do some kind of simul streams in the future again. It was fun.
I'm sure we can.
Sure. Now we know how to do them.
Yeah.
Joe did all the hard work.
All right. Okay. Well, from on behalf of myself and still Joe and Jason and everybody there, have a great night. And hopefully we will see you in the arena.
Bye.
You're the best.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.